College football fans, welcome back to your favorite college football show, the PHA Pick'em, back for week 0. I'm excited as can be for college football, and I know you are too. It's a little bit of a week. I'm not going to lie. Yes, that's right, a week. There's not a lot of good games. If you caught our podcast, the PHA Bets, you did hear a little bit of some of the games we were talking about, and you heard a lot of what I think about it. We have most of the same games over here, but we're going to change up kind of what we did from last year. Last year, we came with you 5 games every week, and we had a parlay. The parlay was terrible. I'm just going to admit. It's really hard. 14 parlays are hard to hit anyway, and I was stretching as was, so we're probably going to get rid of the parlay, and we're not going to force just down your throat 5 games. I'm going to give you the games I love, all right? One week, you might get 1 game. The next week, you might get 10. It all just comes down to it. But what I can tell you is week 0, all about the futures right now. So get your futures in before the actual games start on Saturday. And I'm gonna just go into it, guys. We're gonna start out my favorite futures right now. Then I got a couple games, and then I got a special treat for you at the end here. You guys are gonna like this one. All right, futures. You guys know what it is, right? It's notebook time. Duh. No, I did not update myself to actually doing it on my phone because guess what? The phone is the camera. All right? Sorry, we're poor. We ain't a big fancy, setup. It's literally me, guys. All right? So we're still going with a notebook. Alrighty. Futures. Here we go. All right. One of mine that I like here, I got Air Force over 8.5. If you guys want to know anything about Air Force, go not to last episode, but the episode, I think, before that, maybe 2 episodes before, we did our college futures. I love Air Force. Love them. Over 8.5. They have a ton of starters coming back on offense and defense. Team is stacked. They're being underrated in the Mountain West. Go look at them. Next, this is an iffy one for me because this team is getting a lot of praise. I don't actually think they're going to be great. Like everyone keeps thinking, like this team could maybe bust into the college football playoff. I think they'll be good. They're not that good. Miami, Florida, of course, over 8.5. That win total is super low. Specifically, again, like all these people are pumping them like they're going to win 10, 11 games, maybe be a dark horse for the college football playoff. I mean, they might win 10 at most, but I like 9. I think 9's a solid number. Anything less than 9, I would be shocked. Obviously, that's why I'm taking the over 8.5. A team that everyone seems to forget just had a first-round quarterback leave it, Pittsburgh. Everyone thinks that they're going to be great. No, they're going to stink. They're going to really disappoint, I think, in the ACC. And what is going to be like a really weird ACC, honestly, the ACC has turned into essentially the Big 12 when it comes to teams. Like, it's very competitive, I think, in that league. You could see teams that you would never even thought of, like a Virginia, per se. They could come in and win 9 games out of nowhere. So look out for them. But I got Pitt under 8.5 as the pick here for the future. A team I also talked about on our podcast, Kansas State, over 6.5. That's an insanely low total, specifically for a team that I think has a chance to win the Big 12. Like, I'm not putting it on here as a future bet for you all, but I personally did go out and already put that down. An extreme value for them already to win the Big 12 in what will be an interesting year given what's been happening in Oklahoma, the new coach in Texas, some of the rumors coming out of there with the quarterback situation. K-State over 6.5. A parlay that I love, and I think you're an idiot if you don't go do this, just because it's like there's a 99.9% chance this happens. I got Ohio State to win the Big Ten, Alabama win the SEC. Parlay those together, you get plus 147. That's double the money for something that happens almost every single year. All right, you gotta love that one. And then back to the Miami here. I got Miami to win the Coastal in the ACC. That's the opposite conference of Clemson, so like they already have a really good chance of doing it right there. Plus 155. So those are my value plays for the futures. I have a ton more that I can definitely put out. We'll just do this. If you're interested in more futures, if you're like, you know what, I like these futures, I'd love to know more. I got a slew more of them. I obviously put them out on the podcast, but I have more beyond that. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Message me, Facebook too if you want. Hit me up there. Let me know what your thoughts are if you want some more. And I will give the first 25 people that hit me up some free picks. There you go. On to the games this week, though. Like I said, week 0, it's a really down week. College football's trying, you can tell, to like make this a popular thing. I will admit it still feels kind of early for big games. Like, it's still summer. I need football, specifically big games in college, to be in the fall. But they have tried to sneak in some of these bigger conferences like the Big Ten into week 0. which we're going to start off with right out the gate. Nebraska versus Northwestern in Dublin. Line is Northwestern plus 13.5, over under 50.5. Nebraska is a 3-win team from last year, probably the best 3-win team you'll ever find. Scott Frost is on the hot seat. Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern is maybe the best coach in the Big Ten. I think it's going to be a highly competitive game. Everyone's remembering that Nebraska put up 56 on Northwestern last year. I just don't think that's going to happen this year. I think it's going to be really tight, especially for the fact that they all had to travel across the Atlantic to Dublin. Taking the under 50.5 in this game. Next, we're going to stick to the Big Ten. I got Wyoming versus Illinois. Brett Bielema, he had Illinois kind of seeming like they might be a sneaky team this year. We're going to find out. Last year's performance wasn't bad down the stretch. Illinois is favored by 12.5. The over-under is 44. Wyoming lost their starting quarterback and running back, but their backup running back averaged 92 yards down the stretch as a backup. Last name Sween. I think he's going to be good enough to at least keep Wyoming in the game. And the Illinois offense is terrible. Defense is great. So I'll take Wyoming plus 12.5 to keep it within the number here. I think it'd be an exciting game. Maybe the one game I'm actually looking to the most during the day when it comes to the games. And then cap it off here. You guys, this is going to be a running theme. Last year, I tried to call the big upset with Hawaii against, I think it was UCLA last year. I got Hawaii again on the docket, but this time they're against an SEC team in Vanderbilt. That's right. Vanderbilt's traveling all the way to Hawaii. The line is Hawaii plus 9. Over-under is 53.5. Vanderbilt actually arrived in Hawaii, I think it was August 21st, just to get prepped for the time change, the climate there, everything. So they're taking this serious, which is great. But Hawaii is 11-1 in their last 12 home openers against the spread. And it's Hawaii. I don't care if you get there a whole week early. It's going to take you some adjusting to get used to that. So I'll take Hawaii plus 9 with my my home team there. And now, without further ado, I'm going to give you guys a little teaser, all right? All of you guys know I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. No doy. But I'm going to have a running theme I'm going to do this year. It's going to be called My Guys, all right? I'm going to pick a team using a random spin wheel for all of you that have been watching PHA bets, similar to that. And from now until the beginning of week 1, each, we'll say 2 or 3 days, I'm going to be breaking it down. I right now have 20 teams that I randomly spun on a wheel for NCAA football. Those 20 teams will go from 20 to 10 to 5 down to the official winner of the team that I will be backing as my guys for the rest of the year, along with Notre Dame. So be on the lookout for that. And then in addition to that, obviously I'm going to be repping Utah, but also I'm going to try to highlight a player in the My Guys segment that I feel deserves, the old sticker helmet, if you'd like to go back to the old college football days with Lou Holtz there, giving out the helmet stickers. So yeah, we'll kind of spitball more of what that looks like going forward. I'll be honest, it was like a last second thought, within like the hour of me recording this. This is how this brain works. So we've been hard at work trying to figure out how to get 20 teams in really quickly, and then how I'm going to develop this. But we'll give you more information as this goes. You guys, I've talked about this a lot with PHA this year. Like, it's going to be a huge year for us. I think we're finally kind of getting our sea legs, we'll say, with how this video works and like social media and making it a lot easier for us. So just be on the lookout. We're going to be doing a lot of cool things this year. We're going to be talking about, obviously, college football. We got a couple of games we're going to try to go to, a couple of huge tailgates that we got, maybe one that potentially is the best in the country, according to some. So be on the lookout for that video. Maybe an NFL game or two. So just tons of videos this year. Can't wait for you guys to go along the ride with us. And, keep coming to the PHA Pick'em. Go check out Kyle and Maggie's stuff on YouTube. And, of course, check out the blog and our podcast, PHA Bets. But, other than that, hope you guys enjoy week 0. I'm so happy football's here. Till next week, fam.